See, this is beginning of winter. It's supposed to warm up into the 60s here by Wednesday. It's Monday. Overnight, we got this. And it's really windy and it's really cold. So there you go. Been looking for my there it is. I need this. Well, this isn't really great, but it'll work. This isn't the one I've been looking for, but it'll work. It's pretty nice. See? It's really long too. But yeah, we got winter. It's definitely cold out, I'm telling you. Get some farming done. It's manure day. Even though it's cold. Okay? Getting in there. We got Jared down there loading the spreader when Jack gets back to it. Clean these two pens anyway. One over there. And then this one here. Snowblower idea. It works really well, believe me. See? There's a real farm girl. What do you call them things? Your onesies?
Yes.
Well, it's cold here, but this farm, I don't know. I've never said anything really. I thought I did a video about it, but I think I deleted it. But see, this farm, I don't own it. I rent the whole thing. I lease it from a guy who owns this property. And I lease the land. Not all of it even, just partial. So he owns it. And I don't know if it's... Put it this way, for my situation, it's a good thing. Because at my age, you know, in my financial situation that I'm in, there's no way you can buy property, especially around here in the Finger Lakes in New York. Some of these farmers I've learned lately, are paying $10,000 an acre for farmland. Not house stuff, just farmland. That's crazy, but so the guy that owns this has been really generous to me. I mean, he told me, in fact, that he thought he'd never see this farm active again. You know, he never thought he'd see hay in that barn again, but there is. And there's animals in there. Cows and chickens over here in that barn right next to me. So when I tell you about, like, I hope I can build something here, it's not like it's my decision. You know, it is my decision to expand. You know, those things are my decision. But I have to, you know, run it through Mark. His name is Mark. And he's already said I could build on to that barn down there by the silo, come out this way to the west. This one right there, that where the red is, and come out this way. You know, it's about 20 feet to the driveway there, which would give me another good space for goats. So I can't just, you know, do things and I have the ideas in my head what I want to do, and he usually says okay, you know, or sometimes he nixes things because it's his property. Even though I lease it, I lease the barn, it's still his property, you know, and he has to approve everything. And this was his property. This is his father's property, his grandparents. I mean, they owned a lot of land around here. He sold a lot, but he owns still 167 acres on this farm. And he has property down where he lives. He lives in the southern tier of New York, and so it's actually a good thing because, you know, he's told me what the taxes are here, and I think he's including this property down in the southern tier too, but it's like $19,000 a year in school and property tax around here, and that's crazy. So it's expensive to farm around here in New York. It's expensive to do business here in New York. Anything, but I could have never started a farm on my own, but you know, we've dumped a lot of money into this place, you know, with machinery and lumber to build things in the barns, and you know, just a lot of little expenses you don't even expect. So it's expensive. Well, the whole thing is, in my situation, I don't care that I have to ask him, and he's been very generous. He's put those 2 big buildings up for this farm. Those ones over there, you know, that you've seen them on film. He's built them for me. He's just, you know, and he stores his machines in there too. It's not like just for me, but you know, it's for the farm basically. And he's gone beyond sometimes to help, and he doesn't have to. He just does, because I think it's nostalgia for him to see this farm active and hay and animals, and likes to see it. As he said, you know, in fact, he said again, he never thought he'd see this farm active, and I think he likes it. But so if I talk like I've got to, you know, I want to do something, and somebody's saying, well, why don't you just do it? Well, I have to get approval first, and then do it, and then I have to gather money for it. You know, it's tight. But what we want to do, I was just saying about this barn there, that one there, we want to build a lot of it with that barn, where my finger's pointing, that old barn. Take some of that wood, because it's going to fall down. It's you can see the hole in the roof right there already, and that's not the only hole. On the other side, it's all going away. And you know, he's looked into rebuilding that whole barn once, and he said nope, it's just too much money. But still, it's his old barn, and you know, some of these guys like to see, that's what they saw all their lives, you know, so I have to be very careful on what I do around here too. So I am gonna suggest to him that we use that wood to help build this little barn here, and then tear the rest of it down, and then he can have the wood, and we'll store it into those containers that are over here. He's bought 2 containers. You can see them right there. There's 2 of them. Those old, well, you see them on the road. We bought 2 of them, and they're both storage. One has grain in it now, though I started putting corn in it, but the other one is empty. And we could store a lot of that wood in there for him, and that's what I'm going to suggest to him. So he'll have all that old wood that we don't use. Whatever we don't use will be stored for him. And then maybe we can put a roof over after we tear the top part of the barn down. It has a nice, well, it's not a nice basement, but it could be redone. And then just make a, you know, like a, you get a pole roof, like a dome, put plastic over it, or some, you know, that's, might not happen like that, but, or just make a roof, a lean-to over that roof, over that, and over that, and then just have animals in there. So I'm just talking, but that's why sometimes you see I can't, I just don't do things because I'm not going to wreck his barn. I'm not going to tear things down just because it's his old barn and he wants its old barn and it's usable. But I don't go through there and tear everything out and just do this and that because, you know, I don't own it. And he lets me do a lot of things, so I'm very happy. And I'm happy I don't have to pay the taxes. I just pay him a lump sum once a year for lease of this whole, what I rent, the land and these barns. And that's it. And, you know, he has to take care of, you know, it's like me, he is the landlord. You know, if there's problems and, you know, he has to take care of them too. You know, I hope. But yeah, if there's problems around, you know, he has to do it. Because I lease the property. It's like some of you out might lease an apartment. Well, if something goes wrong, you call your landlord. So it's very helpful, really, that for me, I'd rather do it this way, you know, because it works. I don't have all the expenses as the guy who would own this property. You know, that roof goes on that barn. He has to repair it. You know, that's his expense. And he's put a lot of roofs on. And that old the cow barn and the one next to me, he's put roofs on. So that's his expense. So that's very helpful to me. Anyway, I just wanted to explain that in this video because if you wonder sometimes why I don't do certain things, it's because of that. All right, I'm gonna go warm my fingers up at the house. I did manure today, and I'm not gonna do that much more because it's cold right now, and I could use a little break. See ya.